Cool, cool, cool. Looks like they are getting ready to begin. So this is an oak match between Harren and Paratroopa. And so just put these picks and bans up really quickly and then we will start.
So quick look at stats here. Looks like Harren has a 50% sniper win rate, while Paratroopa has a 50% spy win rate. And Para has a 42% sniper win rate, and Harren has a 42% spy win rate. That should make it interesting because they have kind of reverse stats for their sniper and spies.
Alright, got this ready. I'm opening... have they started? I don't see them in the lobby. Oh yeah, they're just ready to invite. Alright, this is very impromptu, so I hope I have everything ready. Not making any mistakes here. Like I already have, because I put veranda up twice. Whoops. Second one should not be veranda, it should be pub. Yeah, Harren has a few more games, but Paratroopa definitely watches a lot of casts and spectates a lot, and has done some casting last week. He's pretty knowledgeable. It's just really a matter of playtime experience.
Yeah, I played Harren week 1, and I'm kind of glad because it looks like he's gotten pretty good.
Harren's pretty high up on the Oak scoreboard. I believe he's in, what, maybe 4th place or tie for 4th? Alright.
I'm not so sure about 4th, but...
They are starting. I'm not sure who the first sniper and spy is, so let's just take a moment.
So what venues are we seeing?
Yeah, so I'm just posting it in the Discord because it was on screen very briefly.
Okay.
So we have ballroom, then library, then veranda, then pub. So we're gonna have a nice sandwich of 5/8.
I'm just gonna post that in our chat. It'll be interesting to see what happens if we get 2 pub at the end there.
Yeah, I'm excited to get to that after the 5/8. Alright, and we're starting. Should I count you in with a 3, 2, 1, go? I'll go ahead. 3, 2, 1, playing it. Alright, so it looks like Paratroopa is our first spy playing Disney, starting off at the window pads. Looks like he's getting some sort of look at the party, deciding what to do. Maybe wanted to go flirt with the ST, but they're over at bookshelves, there wasn't room. But we are next to the ambassador now, which gives us a good opportunity to potentially bug, but the ambassador walks away. Looks like Paratroopa's eyeing the party, trying to figure out what to do. We don't really want to be in this conversation. We want to get our flirt, but the ST seems like they're moving around. So we're waiting to see where they land, and it's a conversation. Probably going to go follow them, if I had to guess. And it looks like that's exactly what Paratroopa's doing. Getting that first flirt, but it has already been, you know, almost a minute. The ambassador is next to us again, so we could get another bug here. Another bug attempt, rather. Ligorov says his computer is frozen, so it looks like I'm alone here. Well, anyway, we did get the 51% on the green flirt. Now we're walking over to the blue bookcase, maybe thinking of microfilming or just getting a fingerprint. We are a little bit slow on mission progress, so microfilm is possible, but there's not a lot of cover at the bookshelf, so we just put it back. Probably the smart play, and we can immediately re-enter next to our flirt, but no, we're not. We're going to a window first. Maybe a little bit worried about immediately re-entering, and the ambassador just keeps coming to us this game. She has stood in our conversation circle so many times, and we're really almost inside her at this point. Lean might not be super visible, especially with that pillar, but Paratroopa is playing cautiously, not taking the bug attempts when they're coming. We enter conversation with the double agent now. Maybe want to wait a little bit for the contact. There's a lot of people outside of conversation or alone in conversation, so I think Para is going to be waiting for a good opportunity. But it doesn't look like it's coming, so he just takes it. You know, we're low on progress. We need to get the contact in. We can't wait around forever. We have to do other missions.
Only give up 4 low lights, though, as I come back.
Yes. It wasn't the worst banana bread, wasn't the greatest, but at least a few more came into conversation before he did it. The ST left us right when we entered this conversation, so Para's probably pretty frustrated about that. Could purloin right now out of pure desperation, but decides not to. In my opinion, Para's playing a little bit cagey here. There have been a lot of times the ambassador was near him, but he didn't bug, and it seems like he's been a little scared of doing the hardtail. And yet he immediately gets shot just for going to the center statue.
That was the one with the fingerprint on it, too.
Yeah, that's what I figured. And it looks like Harren was really, really on top of those fingerprints.
Yeah, that would have been a 3-mission finish right at the center statue there. And bit of an early shot before he'd even picked up the statue, but he gets it.
Yeah, Harren was just on it. Apparently highly, highly suspicious. Alright. So that's 1 point for Harren as we head into our second ballroom game. So it looks like there may have been good reason for Para to be playing sort of cagey. It looks like Harren was onto him if he had done any of those hardtails, the microfilm, the bug, anything else. Yeah, it's true. It's possible that he was credited for the bug even though he didn't actually do it. Alright, you ready, Ligorov?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, playing it.
Gonna step into an innocent conversation without taking control just yet. Kind of just eyeing up the party, seeing where we want to go.
And we're entering next to our seduction target. Pretty standard.
We'll take a nice sip, and we'll hit a white test to get us started.
We do have Toby behind us, but it's probably not a great time to do a purloin, and we just quickly reject that. Harren has other plans in mind. We're walking over
an awkward leave
past the ambassador, but we didn't bug them. We stayed far enough away from them, and we're going to the bookcase. Does this have a fingerprint? Or are we considering microfilm?
This could just be a...
It looks like we're taking the book. I think that could be a good decision. The ambassador is sort of at that back conversation spot where it could be easy for people to walk by and bug them. Toby was all the way on the other side, so it's possible that Harren wasn't noticed taking this book out.
This book will give us options, but that 65% flirt is going to make it tough, especially if we can't hit our first green test.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. We're entering conversation with the double agent now, probably planning to do a banana bread, but the double agent leaves and now we're stuck in a conversation that we don't want to be in. We banana bread anyway.
4 lowlights again. The saving grace is that we don't have a double agent in this conversation.
Yeah, that could work out well for Harren. It's just a question of, was Harren going for the framing play, or was it sort of a case of, you know what, the double agent left, I'm not making progress, I'll just do a fake and hope someone gets shot?
Well, the real banana breads have been highlit. Will Paratroopa notice that Kane is the only one who's different for this banana bread?
Yeah, another one coming off. We're seeing sniper reaction, no lowlights coming off, and no changing of the highlights either. Okay, the lowlights come off a little bit delayed on the people over at the shelves and statues. So it looks like Paratroopa was maybe a little bit confused by that second one and trying to process it before reacting. And while Para is confused about that, Harren goes and puts the book back in green. And by back, I mean not back where it came from.
Yikes.
99.
There is the 99% I was ever so worried of.
That's unfortunate. I mean, you will have time to finish it, but yeah, we're adding time here because to finish the flirt and do another mission will be tricky. And it looks like that last mission is just going to be center statues. If there's any suspicion from the time ad, it's risky.
Especially since we still have one more flirt to do.
It doesn't look like Paratroopa is shooting for it though, and really this would be the time because for all Para knows, that flirt bar is already at 100%. So
yeah,
the fact that
pretty
no
sure
shot...
that was a 3 cycle as well.
Wow, 3 cycle. I'm guessing that Para was just very confused by the banana bread and sort of lost track of what might be going on in this game. And also, if he didn't notice that microfilm, there's no reason to shoot Kane just for center statues if you don't think they have any other progress. And we're going in for the final flirt here. Mission win countdown comes up, and is Para on this? He's zooming in, but no, there's no shot.
He was looking for
off.
that guest list there. But wrong mission.
Right, and that's second point for Harren as we head into our third ballroom game. 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, that last game really comes down to missing Kane in for the second real BB.
Yeah, it looks like the fake banana bread play worked out. As far as I can tell, that seemed to be something that not only confused Paratroopa, but also used as cover to return the book to the wrong shelf.
We're just wasting some time here talking with the ambassador.
Yeah, it's possible to leave this conversation and curve around the ambassador, but there isn't too much cover except for the pillar. We do have Toby offering us a drink, but I don't think Paratroopa is going to purloin. He's shown that he doesn't seem to like doing the hard tells all willy-nilly. Doesn't just right-click at the first opportunity like some of us do.
The seduction target will be kind and join us for our 29% flirt.
Yeah,
29's 2.5 minutes left.
29's not the greatest, but considering they came to us, it's not bad. But again, we're seeing the same thing here where we've spent, over a minute so far and haven't really made any progress besides a flirt, which, isn't even necessarily enough for 3 flirt without a green.
We have an intentional fake contact, and that was strange. 3 people left our conversation at the exact same time.
That could have been really good if Harren low-lit Smallman because no one was in conversation with him, so he couldn't have banana breaded. But it looks like Harren's reaction speed was quick enough to realize that Smallman still could have done it, or maybe just had other things on his mind.
I don't think anybody else was out of that banana bread.
No, it was a really good time to do a fake because pretty much everyone was in conversation.
That's a really good awareness in itself, but when we hit a green on the flirt, that brings things way back into the realm of possibility.
That's good, and we do have 1 fingerprint now. So, we sort of have progress, but not really. The ambassador's near us again, possible to maybe do a standing bug.
He curved around us a bit too much for that reverse drive-by.
Yeah.
This might be a good opportunity, though.
Yeah, I think this could be a good time to just walk out of the conversation and curve around the ambassador, but the ambassador just keeps moving. It looks like Paratroopa is probably waiting to timer flirt here. We are being offered a drink. Let's see if he goes for the
Taft
purloin.
leaves conversation.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Taft went to pick up the briefcase, and so we won't be able to timer flirt. I don't think there's any way to win this game by mission completion without a time ad.
We have nothing done. Need one more flirt, one more fingerprint, and still 2 more missions.
No, and Paratroopa's not doing anything, just hoping that the fake banana bread might help get someone else shot, but it doesn't look like Harren's planning to shoot anyone unless someone does something very suspicious. But you know, there's no one going to late statues right now.
Another fake, but it's within 10 seconds.
Yeah, this fake doesn't work because the sniper knows that they'll have overtime because it's in the last 5 seconds. So actually faking a banana bread like that means that no one will get shot. So it's a little bit counterintuitive that way. And that's a 3rd point for Harren. And Paratroopa now sniping for the 2nd time, trying to take 1 point on Ballroom so as not to be totally swept here on his own pick. To me, it just looks like Paratroopa's a little bit nervous about doing the hard tells. It seems like he's always sort of waiting for moments. But then, you know, if the ST leaves, the double agent leaves, he's not getting the moments he wants. All right.
Yeah, I didn't see it. Or go ahead and do the countdown first.
3, 2, 1, playing it.
Maybe he took a look at Harren's stats and saw that he has a high civilian shot rate. Tried to take advantage of that. I didn't get much of a chance to actually see. Oh, we have a red flirt at statues.
That's
was
very
it
interesting.
Noticed? Because yeah, it was.
Oh no, no, that's not it. No, that's not it. He's not shooting. He's waiting.
Oh my god. That is so huge. If Para can at least narrow it down to these 2 though. Although he's still highlighting pearls.
Yeah, I definitely think an experienced sniper would have narrowed that down to 2, but you know, a red flirt causing someone to leave statues early isn't something you necessarily come against a lot. It might very well be Paratroopa's first time seeing that live in his own match and sort of not being able to puzzle it together.
Holding this shot, though, may prove to be super crucial.
Yeah, that was
especially
very
to
impressive.
Not get swept. Though the ambassador has stood next to Teal now. That's not going to help his cause.
No, Harren is right behind the ambassador as well now. Potential reverse drive-by bug if the ambassador walks over to the right. But there is a drink print available, and Harren's in a really good spot to maybe grab that.
And we already have one, so...
Not requesting Toby over, though. It looks like we're missing that opportunity.
I don't think there's room for Toby there.
Yeah, that might have been it.
We have a banana bread, but Teal is not in for real.
No, and that's really, really good for Paratroopa. Of course, Teal hasn't been doing much since the initial statue leave. And we are entering right next to Teal and starting to talk. If there was any suspicion that it could have been a red flirt, this would almost guarantee it. But it doesn't look like Paratroopa held the shot because he realized it was a red flirt. It might just be that he was doubting himself. It might also be that he realized there was no reason to shoot that quickly and was just deciding to be prudent and watch her. And, you know, she hasn't done anything, so...
That patience is good in itself.
But we have completed microfilm now,
yeah.
Returning a book to the wrong shelf. It's possible that Paratroopa's sort of been tunneling on Teal and maybe not noticing the other things, so even if he didn't shoot Teal, that still is really hurting him.
We have a white swap on the side.
Wow.
And Teal will be shot, I don't think without talking. I think without talking at all this game.
Wow, just shooting teal. I
Yeah, that's just. I want to see this flirt from. Oh, wow. I mean, she just immediately picked it up and then set it down, which you could definitely see as like a spy play, but why
yes,
would a spy do that?
I'm receiving confirmation from Paratroopa that he was not aware of the red flirt, that he was confused about what teal did.
Yeah, Teal just did nothing for the rest of that game. It's a well-timed shot. It came off with like 1 second left on the timer.
Yeah, it
It
looks
just
like he just
doesn't make a whole
really
lot of
wasn't
sense.
thinking of the possibility of the red flirt, and so he knew he saw something weird. He just didn't quite realize that there was an explanation for it. All right, now we're moving into library. This is Harren's pick. 3, 2, 1, playing it.
We're stepping into a window pad as Oprah. Gonna finish up our drink as Harren takes the statue highlights.
We're walking in this direction. There isn't much here. There's no flirt, so it looks like we're planning to go to statues as well. Center statues, in fact. It's possible that Para was a little bit miffed about the past two spy games where he wasn't really making a lot of mission progress quickly, and, you know, the strategy didn't pay off, so it may be that he's trying to do something different now.
Yep, we got a quick mission done, but we've got a fat highlight with 4 more to do. And at least one of those will be a hard tell.
Right, so we've entered an innocent conversation. You know, it could have been possible to just go chase the flirt right away, and I do think Para needs to start doing that just to get that progress in. And it looks like he's going to. Toby is around in this conversation as well, so there is an opportunity to purloin if we want. And we'll see, you know, if Para starts doing things a little differently, maybe attempt some hard tells. Not just because the previous strategy didn't work, but just because this is a 5/8 bigger map. And we are taking the purloin this time, and it's a white test. And the tray is clearly on screen, but it doesn't look like Harren was necessarily watching the exact chain, so might
The
not know exactly who
laser's
did it.
sticking around, though.
Laser
So
is sticking around, and, you know, Hair Oprah is conspicuously behind that pillar. Not taking any lowlights from people who couldn't have done it. So it looks like Harren might not be certain about who did this purloin. He is shaking his rifle a little bit on top of Oprah, but that might not have meant anything.
up to
And
53 on the flirt. That gives us an option to finish that. But we still need something
no, we're
to
just
finish
waiting
this game.
behind this pillar. And, you know, the flirt target's all the way across from us in conversation. It's not exactly a time-to-timer flirt. Looks like we're going to go for the briefcase. 2 minutes. Good time to start getting a first print. And, oh! But
Ooh.
gets shot immediately. It looks like Harren really was onto that purloin and was just waiting for her to do something.
There was really no way out of that with a mission win.
No, it doesn't look like it. And that brings Harren up 5-0. Para trying a different strategy this time, but still not quite paying off. 3, 2, 1, playing it. Alright, and now we get to see Harren's spy game on library, playing boots.
Take control to guide himself away from center statues to start. Probably not notice, but he definitely doesn't want to eat that fat, juicy early highlight.
Yeah, I think, you know, when your spy games are going so well, so smoothly, you don't really want to risk getting a loss because you started center statues and the spy and the sniper, you know, tunnels on you, or, you know, sees everything you do. We have Toby coming to us, potential purloin opportunity, but it looks like we might just be staying in this conversation to timer flirt. We reject the drink. We're not interested in purloining right now, even though we are at a sort of decent spot with Toby's tray being blocked by the pillar.
That green will give us some flexibility later on as we choose to do our next mission.
Alright, so we're walking over to this side. The ambassador is here. The double agent is here, but not in conversation, and it looks like we're going to a bookshelf now. We are getting a fingerprint from the book. It's also possible we could attempt microfilm. We'll see if she takes the book away.
Laser is really hanging out over this ambassador and Toby.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Paratroopa noted that book being taken or not. If I had to guess, I would say that Harren's planning to dump that book somewhere else. Maybe
Especially
right away?
blue.
No, we're going to enter with the double agent.
This could be a banana bread into transfer. Oh, Harren looks to the side very briefly, but if this is a contact into book dump, Harren might not even think about it because he's spending a lot of time. Or Paratroopa might not think about it because he's spending so much time on the right side of the map.
Banana bread.
Oh, we contact as the double agent is leaving, so we don't even get it, and some lowlights coming off. I think there were a few more lowlights to be potentially taken, and really the strength of that banana bread would have been, you know, using it to go put the book back, and it looks like we're doing that anyway. We're not putting it in the far left bookshelf, we're going to the middle one. The laser, not really on us. It was watching us there, but it doesn't look like Paratroopa knows where that book came from.
That's the third time that Harren's gotten away with transfer against Para, so
yeah, if
possibly
Para's
detecting a
watching the
weakness.
replays. And a shot comes off on Duke. It looks like Paratroopa was not onto anything that Harren was doing and had some other AI suspects of his own.
What did Duke get highlighted for? Side statue. Not a whole lot that I can tell from briefly skimming the replay.
Yeah, it's possible that Paratroopa was just feeling behind, maybe took a risky shot, maybe was losing confidence in his ability to notice everything, and so took a shot on someone that maybe had completed. Alright, 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Stepping in as Seek, we will go for a pretty nasty bug attempt and miss the pad at the bookshelf. But it wasn't noticed. Okay, was that noticed? The book rip?
Yeah, that was a very, very quick book grab. But it doesn't look like Harren is following Seek particularly in any way.
I was about to say we're going for a bit of a rush play, and then we red flirt into transfer.
Yep, and we just put the book back.
And where's
we get a highlight for it. Not a shot,
it's
though.
Potentially just for center statues.
That's true. It's hard to know what the highlight was for, considering it came right as we left the shelf and right as we right as we stood on the center statue pad. And we're swapping, and it is a green swap.
This is a rush from Para.
We tried to bug as the ambassador walked by us, but it didn't take. We were going in opposite directions, both moving really quickly, no bumping into each other, so that bug wasn't going to work.
This is an attempted rush, and it's definitely a change of pace.
General is swapping the statue. Harren highlights General for being at the statue, but doesn't watch to see if it's changed.
Banana bread.
And a contact comes off, which means that Harren's not going to be looking at that statue for a while longer, so Paratroopa might have gotten away with that swap pretty clean at this point. And at this point, all we need to do is flirt. which shouldn't be super hard, and it'll be really hard for Harren to actually shoot us just for flirting.
Or
Mission
we hit
win
another
pending.
green test.
Taking a green purloin instead, not even wanting to play the long game.
This is exactly what Paratroopa needed.
Oprah takes the list. Can't fully see the tray behind Toby. No reaction. And no
he's
shot comes
considering
off.
Everything. Yeah, just wasn't expecting a mission win with 2.5 minutes left.
No, Paratroopa completely breaks the slow play meta that he's established, stopped being tentative, and went for a rush, and it completely worked.
Is that 6-1 now?
6-1. All right, 3,
Is the comeback on, Dells?
2, 1, playing it. I think a comeback is possible. I mean, I don't think this scoreline necessarily represents that Paratroopa is totally outclassed here. I think he's just been maybe a little bit off his game. I think he said he's sick today. And also just seemed like he was being a little bit too tentative in those early games and letting himself get confused by some of Harren's plays.
Nice early green flirt. We'll see if Paratroopa will be able to punish this book transfer this game. Because Harren hasn't even done the action test microfilm. It's only been the hard book transfers. Harren's eyeing up the seduction target, possibly looking to finish with a quick 2 green flirt.
Yeah, there's not a lot of room in this conversation. We struggle to enter it a little bit, but we do end up pretty close to them, even though it wasn't the tightest spot. So we do get a pretty good flirt here. Should be really easy to finish that flirt up later, so now you have time to go do your other missions, knowing that you can return to the ST at some point in the next 3 minutes. But Harren decides to add time.
White time ad into the book dump. We're suspicious for it.
Yeah, we
get
get a
shot
highlight.
for it.
And a shot! Paratroopa takes another point.
I just realized I have spoilers on.
Oh. Well,
Bad caster.
we're only starting each match, you know, a few seconds in, so I don't think your bar will see too much.
Well, it's the casting mode. There we go.
All right. 3, 2, 1, playing it. Yeah, to me it looked like Harren might have been feeling a little bit overconfident, trying to do a time ad there when, you know, there wasn't necessarily really any reason to be doing one that early. No reason to think you needed the extra time. And so to do it and go right there and put a book back, maybe feeling a little confident that Para wouldn't catch it. But luckily he seems to have started to catch on to things a little bit.
Meanwhile, there was a bug in the first 5 seconds of the game, followed by a flirt, and now we're stepping into blue books.
Yeah.
So we have a decent chunk of mission progress with one highlight in the party.
Yeah. And so Para's just taking the book from that shelf. The rifle movement sort of indicates to me that Harren was busy watching the tray, keeping an eye on the ambassador. So we'll see if Harren noted where that book came from.
Seduction target will go to the book, so we will happily oblige and join her, although she will leave.
Yeah, she was already there for a little while, so... and we're doing the microfilm transfer as we return, very off-screen, hidden by the doorway with the curtain in it, as the sniper rifle just moved to obscure it perfectly.
Yeah, there's very few features on the back of Salmon's head that are easy to identify if his head is turning or not. Coupled with the sniper's movement, it was very difficult to see that.
So we're stepping in for the second flirt now. 2.5 minutes left. We have progress. It's really good that we got that bug early, probably undetected, and we have half the microfilm. It's just a question of what the other missions will be. We have Toby behind us. Will Paratroopa feel bold enough to purloin again? No, not going for that this time. The Ambassador and the Tray are over in the middle section of the veranda now, so it could be a good time to go for the microfilm. Toby is walking over to us though, so the sniper's eyes might be on this room.
We've got a green fingerprint followed by a white microfilm.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the microfilm was seen at all. Harren was very busy watching the Tray, zooming in a lot to make sure no one was taking it.
We have our 2 hardtells done. That means that we only need a flirt, contact, and most likely a fingerprint if we want to win this.
And the Ambassador is putting their briefcase down. We're stepping in to finish our flirt. Should be close enough for 100% with a white test, and it is. Yes, Monators, this is live. All we need now is a contact and 1 more fingerprint.
Hopefully Para doesn't feel too crushed for time, otherwise time ad might be one of the few things that can get us shot this game.
The Ambassador just left a print on that bookshelf, and Paratroopa's not going to waste any time waiting for it, just going to go for it. Hope that Harren is not keeping track of that print at this moment.
Harren was all the way on the right side, staring down those statues, so...
Yeah. And Harren does have a decent amount of highlights, none of which are Paratroopa, so I wouldn't even be surprised if a shot came off on someone else before Paratroopa can finish. And all Para needs is the contact at this point. The double agent is in conversation. Better hope he doesn't take the drink and leave.
He will stay.
Yeah. Alright, we're doing the real banana bread. I don't think a shot's coming off. Not on Salmon, who isn't even a suspect. Harren isn't even confident about any of his suspects, and with that, Paratroopa making the comeback, taking a 3rd point. That's 3 in a row.
This change of pace from Para is exactly what he needed. Maybe just Ballroom isn't his pick. 5 of 8s is probably where he'll find his comfort.
Maybe. Ballroom is Para's most common pick at this point. But the tentative strategy he was playing there wasn't working, and the 5/8 seemed to have emboldened him to do some rushing or aggressive play. Alright, 3, 2, 1, playing it.
We'll be highlit as Duke for visiting a very early statue. I presume we're going to be highlit. No, we're just going to white swap it because it...
Ooh, a white swap. The highlight comes off. Did Paratroopa memorize what that statue was? That's what this entire match could come down to. Paratroopa's entire comeback run could end if he did not memorize that statue.
Yeah, Harren might have thought he put his laser over me, but he didn't get a good enough view of this. And he decided to punish that.
Yeah, if Harren noticed that the laser was not ever sweeping over to that side, he could have had very good reason to believe that Paratroopa had not memorized the statues yet. And it could be that Paratroopa's worried about that as well, with the late highlight on Harren over at that statue. He could have thought, this person could have swapped, I didn't memorize it yet. No focus on Harren right now.
Amba has put a fingerprint onto the statue that we've already swapped, so we could easily finish this game with 4 soft tells. And that would be very
And we're
difficult.
bugging the Ambassador. We walked by them, we bugged, the arm went right inside. I don't think that would have been very visible from the sniper camera.
This is where I wish that everybody had an eye tracker, because he would love to know if Para saw that. And if he did, he's got to be a huge suspect at this point.
Yeah, I mean, if Paratroopa has any worries about, did Duke swap that statue at the start, he might have noticed that Duke took a bug path. But I'm not sure if he did.
Green contact. No split, but we'll only give up 4 lowlights, I believe.
Yeah, the double agent left right as we were saying banana bread, so it's really lucky for Harren that that was a green. Or I should say skilled, of course, not lucky to hit a green test.
Para absolutely needs this win, and Harren's not going to make this easy for him.
No, if Paratroopa didn't notice that swap or the bug path, it seems pretty unlikely that he's going to be able to take the shot unless he just has general suspicion of Duke based on behavior or activity. Duke will have to go to a second statue visit, and maybe at the moment Harren does that, Paratroopa will remember that Duke was the one at those statues at the start.
We're gonna finish up our timer flirt, and then step into statues, and that'll be the real test for Para.
Yeah. As long as Rocker doesn't leave before the timer expires, and it doesn't, we're getting that flirt in right now. The only move left is to go to a statue, preferably one of the front ones, just to, you know, prove that you're not trying to do a last-minute swap.
There aren't a lot of highlights, though.
That's true, and the other thing that, you know, could get Harren shot is just going to a statue late, you know, 40 seconds left. The statue's fingerprintable. I don't know if Harren knew that. Doesn't want the fingerprint. And now we just see if Paratroopa is going to take the shot, and it doesn't look like he is. Doesn't look like he's really noticing that late statue visit.
Yeah, Harren getting out of there as quickly as possible, too. Just to put the nail in the coffin.
And that is the 7th point for Harren. Paratroopa made a pretty decent attempt at a comeback there, getting 3 wins in a row with those bold new rushing strategies. But it does come to an end.
So that is 7-3.
7-3, and oops.
Yeah, Para had some good strategies in there, but a few things came down to just not being on top of everything.
Yeah, alright, well, Harren doesn't have a microphone, and like I said, Para's sick. That's why he rescheduled from doing the live cast later tonight.
Yep.
So for those who don't know, we are doing a live cast later, myself and Legorv again. This one not impromptu, actually scheduled for the match between Rio and David W. Alright, well, thank you everyone for watching. And thanks to Legorv for quickly jumping in. I think we learned about this match about 5 minutes before we went live. So, but I think that was a pretty interesting match.
Yeah, there were some good games in there for sure.
It was really interesting just watching Paratroopa's arc of sort of slow playing, being a little tentative in ballroom, and then leaning into the rushes and actually having some success. I think what brought him down, he just had a little bit of difficulty keeping track of everything and missed those microfilms a few times.
Yeah, microfilm is not I shouldn't say this. I will retract whatever I was going to say.
Yeah, Paratroopa is definitely a pretty good player. He is sick today, so might have been a little out of focus, but I also think Harren played well, chose really good times. Like most of the times when Harren went to a bookshelf, it was, you know, when the ambassador or the guest list were off somewhere else. So I do think it's, you know, partially, yes, Para missed it, but also partially Harren was picking his spots well, I think.
Yeah, I think Harren was the one who was putting a lot of his focus into the ambassador and Toby, especially on library. And Para just, he did a good job most of the time of punishing that, which is a really good skill to have.
Yeah, he punished it that one time. Paratroopa, I mean, punished it on library one time. But that was the only one. Alright, well, we'll sign off for now. We'll be back later tonight in 2 hours.
2 hours.
2 hours. See ya.
Later.